enjoy the parade. Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, the parade has switched to quick march. And at the end of the quick march, we will have UPDF arms that I earlier pointed out joining the parade. The paratroopers under the Special Forces Command, the Artillery Division, the Motorized Infantry Division, some of our anti-aircraft systems, and the air platforms of the Uganda People's Defense Air Force. A very colorful parade on a very auspicious occasion, and the weather is beautiful indeed. Just what we would have wished for. The color party is right here with us in quick march. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, like I had earlier alerted you, the parade is now being joined by UPDF arms. We will have the paratroopers land on these grounds anytime from now. But in the meantime, the arms display is led by the UPDF Artillery Division. Concluded their march past, we are now joined, Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, by some of the UPDF anti-aircraft systems that have now also joined the parade. What you are seeing before you are some of the UPDF anti-aircraft systems. They supplement the efforts of the Uganda People's Defense Air Force to keep Uganda's airspace safe and secure, and to engage from the ground hostile objects in the air within the territory of the Republic of Uganda. Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, the functions of the Defense Forces include the preservation and defense of our sovereignty and territorial integrity of this country. And as we are well equipped to undertake that function, cooperate with and support the civilian authority in national emergencies and other disasters. And most importantly, strong harmony, understanding between the defense forces and the wananchi. Your Excellencies, before you are still some of the systems of the Uganda People's Defense Forces and aircraft capabilities. They are part of this parade. Any moment now, we will also witness the dropping of paratroopers on these very grounds. The other arm of the UPDF, the Uganda People's Defense Air Force, will also join the parade any moment from now, approaching these parade grounds from the eastern direction. To our military code of conduct, and those who fail to keep pace with the laws of Uganda and those of the military, we have our justice systems that ensure we remain a disciplined and accountable force. And perhaps our strongest and most important force multiplier is our strong civil-military cooperation. The UPDF is because of the strong support we get from the wananchi, but also quite significant has been the consistent and visionary support and the guidance of His Excellency the President and the Commander-in-Chief, General YOWERI Kaguta Museveni, that has turned us into what we are. Your Excellencies and distinguished guests here, our paratroopers are already airborne. Our paratroopers are already airborne, and they will be landing on these very grounds. In 1986, and even in the 1990s, the UPDF did not have any special forces, let alone paratroopers to talk about. This one's up will be instructing the people there so they can come down. The Chief of Defense Forces and Senior Presidential Advisor, General Muhoozi Rugaba, who was for a long time the commander of the Special Forces Command and who oversaw the development and improved capability of Uganda's Special Forces and the paratroopers whom we are about to see land on these very, very special ceremonial grounds here at Kololo. Our paratroopers are already airborne. Those who have and still possess good sight have probably already seen some, and they are descending here in a very controlled and orderly fashion. These are your own sons and daughters. Paratroopers, a very important element of the Special Forces Command. Mwena batulaba Abana-Uganda, omukulembeze w'eggwanga ayalondebwa n'Abana-Uganda mu ngeri nnene nnyo ng'ayina 71.65% ey'obululu bwonna. Paredi yaffe eyeggatiddwako n'ebimu ebibinja ebikulu ebya UPDF okubadde Artillery Division edduumirwa Major General Daniel Kakono, the Motorized Infantry Division edduumirwa Major General Charles Byanyima, UPDF Anti-Aircraft Systems ezidduumirwa Brigadier General Kasawuli, aba paratroopers, aba UPDF abadduumirwa Special Forces Command, Commander wa Special Forces gyali wano. Major General David Mugisha, Special Forces Group, Brigadier General John Bosco Singuza era nga ye parade commander olunaku lwaleero. UPDF ezimbye obukugu n'obumalirivu nti tusobola okukuuma eggwanga lyaffe bulungi. So waliwo omu atuuse ebya UPDF bikolaganira wamu okulaba nti tukuuma eddembe mu ggwanga lyaffe. Ne mu operation zonna ze tubeeramu mu mirirwana gyaffe okulaba nti tulina eddembe mu nsi yaffe n'abalirwana baffe. UPDF twagala si ggwanga lyokka naye tulina n'obuvunaanyizibwa bw'okulaba nti tukolera wamu nga Africa okukuuma eddembe n'okulaakulanya kontinenti yaffe eya Africa. Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, we've seen some of our paratrooper commandos who are landing. They descended from very high in the skies and they have joined the parade, and they were indeed part of the parade. Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, some of the air platforms of the Uganda People's Defense Air Force that I talked about earlier are inbound. They are approaching these parade grounds from the eastern direction. They are approaching these grounds from the eastern direction. They are led by the Cobra Formation. The Cobra Formation is composed of one Mi-17 helicopter piloted by Colonel Hassan Waiswa, and he is the pilot in command. It is in the front and it is carrying the national flag. We have another Mi-17 helicopter in the rear, and we have two escort attack helicopters, one Mi-24 helicopter gunship on the right and one Mi-28 helicopter gunship on the left. They are also part of the parade. And the pilot in command, Colonel Hassan Waiswa, has a message for His Excellency the President. That was Colonel Hassan Waiswa. He has congratulated His Excellency the President for assuming the highest office in the land. Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the different arms on display of the Uganda People's Defense Forces indicate our acquired capabilities to engage in joint combined operations. These elements work together to achieve one military objective. Here we have the helicopters in Cobra formation. Here they are, and they are part of the parade activities. Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, the Cobra formation is followed by the Sparrow formation. The Uganda People's Defense Air Force has different types of aircrafts for different tasks, for different assignments, and all of them work together to achieve the same mission. Of all types, we have surveillance aircrafts of all types, aircrafts for different combat roles. Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, approaching the parade grounds is the Sparrow formation of the Uganda People's Defense Air Force, and they are part of the parade. The parade is still ongoing with the participation of these select UPDF arms, and right now what we are watching before us is the Uganda People's Defense Air Force platforms. The Sparrow formation is followed by the Eagle formation. All these aircrafts, ladies and gentlemen, are piloted by Ugandan pilots, well trained, they know their job, and all Ugandans, wherever you are, you should be very proud of what your sons and daughters have been able to achieve. For instance, the pilot in command is Colonel Hassan Waiswa, a senior pilot. We have other pilots in the helicopters we earlier saw, and flying overhead are the Eagle formation, also of the Uganda People's Defense Air Force. Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, next on display from the Uganda People's Defense Air Force is the Puma formation. The Puma formation is inbound here on the parade grounds. Puma 1, piloted by Captain Nathan Mwebaza, the pilot in command. Puma 2, piloted by Captain Ronald Baluku, the pilot in command. Puma 3, piloted by Captain Ronald Bogere, pilot in command. And Puma 4, piloted by Captain Stephen Bainomujisa, the pilot in command. And here they are. Puma formation. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we will have one of the Puma 4 aircraft coming back here on the parade grounds to conduct some maneuvers. And as I will remind you, the Uganda People's Defense Forces is composed of 4 services: the Land Forces, the Air Forces, the Special Forces, and the Reserve Force. All the 4 different services of the Uganda People's Defense Forces have been on display this afternoon. Puma 4 is here, one of our elite pilots. Puma 4, piloted by Captain Stephen Bainomujisa. Puma 4 is coming for one more round. And Puma 4 will be followed by the Tiger Sukhoi. And it is also inbound on this very significant and special ceremonial grounds. It is here and will be joining. Puma 4 is now exiting the parade grounds. Quite impressive indeed. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we will now have the last presentation from the Uganda People's Defense Air Force, the Tiger Sukhoi, and here it is on the parade grounds. The Tiger Sukhoi has joined the parade ground and is piloted by Lieutenant Emmanuel Sajabi, the pilot in command, and he is co-pilot and the co-pilot is Lieutenant Sam Nkwasibwe. There it is, Lieutenant Emmanuel Sajabi and Lieutenant Sam Nkwasibwe in charge of the Tiger Sukhoi. Tiger Sukhoi, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this marks the end of the parade. We thank His Excellency, the President of the Democratic Republic of Congo, who joined us on this very special occasion and who is bidding us farewell. But the function continues. Back to the parade commander. Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, that was the full UPDF parade. That was augmented by UPDF arms on display, the artillery division, the motorized infantry division, some of the UPDF anti-aircraft systems, the UPDF Defense Air Force, the UPDF Defense Forces Air Force, and the paratroopers under the Special Forces Command.
uko. Bwana tunanyosha mistari. Usawa kati. Mistari nyuso. Marcha mbele. Bwana tunasonga mbele kwa heshima. Kwa moyo wa haraka. Usawa kati. Mbele mbele. Salam ya rais. Heshima tu. Kafia Chiswana tu. Jeshi la Ulinzi ya Wananchi wa Uganda, heshima na utii kwa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Uganda na Amiri Jeshi Mkuu. Viva Rais wa Uganda! Viva wananchi wa Uganda! Viva Jeshi la Ulinzi ya Wananchi wa Uganda! Kafia Chiswana weka. Bendera Samyaka wiko. Tulia.
The parade commander, Brigadier General John Bosco Asinguza, is coming to ask for permission from His Excellency the President to remove the color party.
Mheshimiwa Rais, huo ndio mwisho wa gwaride. Naomba kutoa bendera uwanjani, Mheshimiwa Rais. kimoja bendera. Taa bendera njano. Gwaride. Salamu ya bendera. Lazima tu.
John Bosco Senguza to march off the colors from the parade. And what you are seeing is the process of marching off the colors, which have been duly received by the military police brigade under tight escort, indeed. And that's how much the security services revere the national colors, the national flag, and the flag of the Uganda People's Defense Forces. We thank the Excellencies, heads of state and government, who made time to join His Excellency the President on this very special function when he took oath of office for the new term 2026-2031. The Excellencies and heads of state and government will be leaving at an appropriate time and in an orderly and organized way. We've already heard the President of DRC, His Excellency Felix Tshisekedi, who has left us. We thank him for making time. And he will be followed by His Excellency President Salva Kiir of South Sudan, who will also leave. And he will be followed by His Excellency, the President of Burundi. His Excellency, the President of Burundi, will be followed by His Excellency. The President of Togo. And we will continue to announce as appropriate when our distinguished heads of state and government leave these grounds. We request the members of the public and all distinguished guests in your respective capacities to remain seated. Remain seated.
Toka wanjani kwa mwendo wa rafu, usawa kulia kwa ujumla, kulia,
Congratulations, Parade Commander Brigadier General John Bosco Singuza, for a job well done. A big round of applause. He has now handed over the parade to the parade second in command, Colonel Stuart Agawa. Colonel Stuart Agawa, who will now proceed to march off the parade from the parade square. We salute the gallant officers, men and women, who have participated in today's parade, including the different arms of UPDF. So, marching off. After that, they will be. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Huh?
Congratulations.
Yes. And then invite His Excellency to recognize the heads of state and then address the nation.
Introduces.
Yes, she introduces.
Shall follow the proclamations.
Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause to the officers, men and women, who have given us a very colorful parade performance. Thank you very much. I will now hand over back to my co-MC, the Permanent Secretary and Minister of Foreign Affairs, Honorable Vincent Vajire, who will in turn invite the Director of Ceremonies, Her Excellency, the Vice President, Honorable Jessica Alupo. Over to you, Honorable Vincent Vajire.
Thank you very much, Colonel Chris Magezi, and indeed the commander of the parade, for that excellent job that you have done. Your Excellency and distinguished guests, the Director of Ceremonies, Her Excellency the Vice President, will now congratulate His Excellency the President upon assumption of the highest office in the land. And thereafter, she shall introduce visiting heads of state and government to His Excellency the President. Your Excellency, Jessica Alupo.
Your Excellency, distinguished guests, the parade commander has taken us through in quick, slow time, and today he decided also to entertain us with the UPDF paratroopers, SFC, the UPDF Infantry, Motorized Infantry Division, the UPDF Artillery Division, the UPDF Anti-Aircraft Systems, and the UPDF Air Force platforms. Excellencies, I believe that he deserves a pass done. The Right Honorable Kinji Amason, the chairperson of the Senate of the Parliament of Zimbabwe. Right Honorable Joseph Ntakiru Timana, Speaker of the Legislative Assembly. Right Honorable Wolde Georgis Gayo, First Vice President of the Pan-African Parliament. The Chief Justice Flavian Zeija, the Chief Justice of Uganda. The Right Honorable Haji Moses Kigongo, the First National Vice Chairman of the National Resistance. The Secretary General of the National Resistance Movement, Right Honorable Richard Todwong, and your colleagues, Secretary Generals from sister parties, including Honorable Professor Abdel Karim Ben Barek, Secretary General of the National Liberation Front of Algeria. Secretary General of Chama Chama Penduzi of Tanzania. Hassan Omar Hassan of the United Democratic Alliance of Kenya. The Right Honorable and the Zimbabwe African National Union. And the Honorable Atupele Austin, with two brief items to present to you, and then I will of this historic occasion. I take the singular honor to congratulate Your Excellency and indeed on your swearing in and inauguration, which has just taken place. Your Excellency's score of 71.65% in the 2026 presidential elections is evidence of the massive support that you and the NRM enjoy in the country. Your victory in all areas across the country also symbolizes your achievements, popularity, and the comprehension by all the people of Uganda in the politics of interests. Opportunity to congratulate and thank the NRM party that nominated you as their preferred candidate and supported your re-election. Thank all the candidates that participated in the electoral process at the presidential level, members of parliament, and in all other local government electoral positions. A very warm congratulations and thank you to you all Ugandans that took part and exercised your right to choose leaders at all levels. In a special way, Your Excellency, I wish to thank all those who rendered support. You, our candidate, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, constitutional order. The preparation for the entire election that has set the foundation for the economic growth of our country, and wish you good health and inauguration ceremony, i.e. protecting the gain. You once again for joining us in your respective delegations on the people of Uganda. First, President of the Federal Republic of Somalia. Second, we have Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania. Your Excellency, we also have His Excellency Daniel Francisco Chapo, President of the Republic of Mozambique. We have here with us His Excellency Fure Ezozina Gazimbe, President of the Council of Ministers of the Republic of Togo. And we also have His Excellency Salva Kiir Mayardit, President of the Republic of South Sudan. Your Excellency, we do have His Excellency Brahim Gali, President of Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic. We also have His Excellency Felix Anthony Tshisekedi, President of the Democratic Republic of Congo. He left just a few minutes ago. Your Excellency, we are Botswana. And we are joined by Her Excellency Olga Giselaine Ebok Babakas, Minister of Social Development of the Republic of Congo. Your Excellency, we are joined by Honorable Angie Motsheka, Minister
and the Vice Presidents. So, Your Excellencies, so much for showing so that they don't know much of the history. And who gave us the foundation was Mwalimu Kambarage Nyerere. And I'm glad Her Excellency Samia is here, and I'm telling you in her presence, I'm telling you people. So never forget Tanzania, I'm telling you people. So never forget Tanzania. Then we have got a very tall man. I had not met him before. Our son from Mozambique, working with Mwalimu, are the ones who helped us to build this force which you see here. The 28 people I trained in Montepuez, 1976-78, are the ones who built this army which you see here. Then there is the Vice President of Kenya. When Ugandans were running away, many of them would run to Kenya. So those countries in particular, I thank all the excellencies who have come here and the Vice President. Now, Your Excellencies, the visiting heads of state, heads of government, and heads of delegations, Her Excellency the Vice President of Uganda and other leaders, all the wananchi, especially the Bazukuru, Mulimucha Bazukuru. Uganda balarabona habari nzuri wote, district councillors, sub-county chairpersons, and sub-county with big majorities. Abana Uganda mwebale kuwagira NRC that were using violence management. according to the laws and the Constitution of Uganda. This Kisanja, Excellencies, is our term for a period. This Kisanja should be regarded as a Kisanja of no more sleep for all Ugandans. Kino ekisanja twetwetaaga abantu okwebaka ate nibeekwasa kino nibeekwasa kiri songa eddagala liweriri. This Kisanja should be regarded as a Kisanja of no more sleep for Ugandans. With the advent of the NRM ever since 1986, the families that cared to listen to our message got out of poverty. Amaka agawulirizwa okuwabula kwaffe ne bakola bavada mu bwavu. I'm telling my Ugandans that the families who have listened to our advice and worked the way we advised them, they got out of poverty. Do you want proof? Mwetaaga obukakafu kambubalage nze nkozesa firimu sikozesa lugambo. The real estate around Kampala, show properly, don't switch off. You see all those houses? All those are new houses. And they are built by your own Ugandans. They are not built by foreigners. Yes, there are poor people in Uganda, but there are also those rich people you see there who listened and took advantage. Look at the real estate explosion around the Kampala Entebbe area, even before you go to other parts of Uganda. In the last elections, I reminded you of the Matafari Emiganda contributions that the NRM has put on the House of Uganda in the last 40 years. Excellencies, during the campaign, I told these young people that NRM in the last 40 years has put a matafari, which is our word for bricks, has put 7 matafari on the House of Uganda. In other words, the NRM has made 7 contributions to Uganda in the last 40 years. The first one, peace brought about by the NRM ideology of rejecting the politics of sectarianism caused by the reliance by the opportunists on the ideology of emphasizing identity of tribes, identity that depend on their own sweat and developed countries. This is bribe of religion. That's how we're able to unite the people. That's why we win on the first round, because majority of the people are always with us. All these Bisanja, all these terms, 7 terms, we have never had a real run. We have never had of unity, not the politics of sectarianism, not the no tribe which is the majority, will not get these numbers. So this is brick number 1, infrastructure, such as roads, electricity, the pipe phones, etc., and social infrastructure in the form of schools, health centers. You can see some of those there on the screen. Number C, the brick number, Enkulakulana, in Swahili we say, they never talk about is by whom. Utajiri is by whom. Utajiri parastatal Then brick number 5 were services. Service delivery. The government must provide some services. Those are done, education, those are done by the government, and the government has done it. Sisi wazalishaji mali bidhaa zetu kwa wingi. So that's why the NRA beginning with our elders, Mwalimu Nyerere, Kaunda, all of them must unite East Africa, unite Africa so that we have a market that can absorb the products that we produce. The United States is a powerful country because they have got their parents created a big market for them. If I was in the USA, I would be a billionaire by now, because the market is there. You produce something in New York, it can be sold all the way to California. But here in Africa, the market was fragmented. But thanks to our partners in East Africa, we have united the East African market. All these leaders you see here, many of them are members of East African Community, of COMESA, of the African Union, the CFTA. So the market is now there. Then in the case of East Africa, we are talking of the political federation also, which will deal with the issues of security. Now the NRM has been telling you that out of the 7 bricks, NRM has put peace is now there, infrastructure is there, the service delivery of health care and schools is there, the market of East Africa is there, the market of Africa is there. We can also access the international market. So the problem is you now to do your part. And your part is in 2 areas. Wealth creation. Be part of wealth creation. Tozira bugaga, nze nerira bugaga. Nze njagala bwavu. Tombure ebyo bugaga. Be part of wealth creation. And once you create wealth, you should also create jobs. Now, during the campaign, I showed you examples here. Let's see them, some of them again, a few of them. Basangwa.
Basangwa Johnson, Managing Director wa Jaka Poultry Farm. Jaka Poultry Farm yaganibwa Bukwenge, Kamuli Municipality, Kamuli District. In 2007 twatandika obulunzi nga tutandikira mu Kamuli County Council by then mu plot yali 50 feet by 100 feet. There's a foot atano 10 eda itaka. Tutandika tutya twali nga tulina ebyobufuzi wano mu Kamuli nga waliwo ensonga nga chairman wero C5 omugenzi kawugaba mwidukira Katonda mu ekyumulo eky'emirembe nga bamutoyiremu abantu bangi abatamu application nga bali kwenda okufuuka ba chairman ba 5. Aye president yaida yatunungamya yakuba tubana abantu mwena mwena temusobola kuba ba chairman ba 5. Aye abantu mujje mukola emirimu egingi ng'okulunda yayogera kulunda embidi okulunda enkoko byonna byonna yabyogerako. nze napikinga mu kyokulunda enkoko n'atandika efaamu mu 2007 n'enkoko 5. Saawa dino wendogerera ku faamu kuno kiize mabega ntambwire. Pulezidenti yali yankyalira mu 2010 nga nina enkoko 5,000 yasanuka ino. Saawa dino tutambwire tulina enkoko emitwalo 10 tufulumya amagi ettulo 2,000 buli lunaku. Ettulo 2,000 livaamu miliyoni 2 buli lunaku. Omwezi liba miliyoni 6. Omwaka tuba tuli mu biliyoni ze 6 n'ekitundu etuba tukolaki kuyingiza. So tuwuliriza omulamwa gwa pulezidenti okuva ku kiseera ekyo kakati katukigiireku. Pulezidenti abaire musanufu ino ku bintu byenkoze era nga buli kaseera nkyekingako. Wendogerera kati tulina abakozi 300 betukozesa.
Now you remember I was giving you the example of Basangwa. In 2007, I found them fighting for the position of district chairperson, political position. There were many of them. I advised them, why do you all fight for politics? Why don't you look at wealth creation? And I told them what to do, which we have been telling you from 1996. The 7 activities that you can do on a small scale in agriculture and you get out of poverty. Basangwa listened to my advice, and he had a small plot of 20 feet, is it 50 feet by 100, I think. He started rearing chicken for eggs. So he's now a rich man, getting more than 7 billion shillings a year now. But not only is he a rich man now, but he's now employing 300 people. So a poor man who had no wealth, who had no job, now is a rich man, but also has created jobs for 300 other Ugandans, those ones you see there. Then we go to Joseph Ijara of Serere.
Hello, my name is Joseph Ijala. I am the proprietor of Taifa Farm, which is located in Serere in a place called Kakusi, where we are. And in Taifa we have dairy, poultry, and we also make laundry bar soap. But we also have the value addition aspect of the farm, where we produce yogurt and pack it, tin it for the market. This project started 11 years ago after an inspiration from His Excellency, the President of Uganda, when he had come here and was teaching people about the 4-acre model. He was having a rally in Soroti, and that time I was working as a taxi driver. So he was doing that Massa business in Soroti. So when I heard this, when I heard he was around, I crossed to go and listen to his story. And he was talking about a 4-acre model, how to improve household income. So when I came back, I was fired because I delayed there at the and the guy said, you go and eat those words that you had. But I had already this land, 2.5 acres. But I also had local chicken here. But after hearing that, I got inspired to put more effort on raising this chicken. So I raised the chicken to the tune of about 100 of them. Then I got a small incubator. That was about 4 eggs. So I used that incubator for multiplying my local chicken farm. Eventually I was having 1,500 local chicken around. I was very famous for local chicken. So, but then local chicken were not answering my day-to-day needs, so I decided to translate it to layers. In Taifa Farm, we have 10,000 layers, which give me about 310 trays per day, and each tray goes at a price of 10,500. So approximately 3 million
about 3 million shillings a day from the
So,
eggs that we get.
now that is Joseph Ijara of Serere, who was wasting time as a taxi driver getting little money. So when he heard my speech, he had 2.5 acres back home. He went back and started rearing chicken for layers, for eggs, and dairy. Now he's getting a lot of money. He was saying that he's getting 3 million shillings per day from the eggs alone. But when I went back in the campaign, he's now getting more than 6 million shillings per day. That Ijara. Now, there is Nyakana. Let's see Nyakana now.
My name is Nyakana Richard from Rwengaju. This village is called Rwengaju village in Karabarole, Potpoto City. And where we are here is my home and it's my farm. The biggest landlord in this village of Rwengaju is having the 7 acres. People are surviving on 1/4 acre, 1/2 acre. 80% of the population here, they are on 1/2 acre. They are on 1/4 acre. This farm and this home is seated on 1.25 acre. It is surveyed land. And 1 acre of land here, where we are here, is costing 80 million Uganda shillings. It is very expensive to buy land. Our farm is called Kana Farm. It is having 4 economic activities. Number 1, we are in zero grazing of dairy cows. Number 2, we are in poultry, majorly for layer birds. Number 3, we are in feed processing for livestock. And number 4, manure production.
The screen is disturbing us.
With the poultry, we have 8,500.
But Nyakana is using 1.3 acres. He earns net more than 240 million shillings a year and is employing 15 people. Now, this is in 1.3 acres. Uganda has got 40 million acres of good arable land. If only 7 million acres were used, Nyakana has done it here. Just 7 million of the 40 million would create 105 million jobs. I have reminded you that Uganda, of those acres, were used the Nyakana way, would create 105 million jobs in small-scale commercial, 14,000 people. Or before you talk of the services such as hotels, like Sheraton, which employs 400 people. Let's see the employees of Kachira, the workers there, let's see. They are employing 14,000 people in Kachira. Let's look at Sheraton. Sheraton is employing how many people? Sheraton, if you have it. Sheraton is employing 400 people. Let's look at Mbare. Those are employees of Sheraton. See how smart they are. Let's look at Mbare Industrial Park. Mbare Industrial Park. Go back a bit. Freeze there. You can see how, and it was employing 20,000 people. This is just one of them. So, the message of the NRM is Ajira. I think in Swahili they call it Ajira. Emirimu. And high-skilled jobs. So don't say you Museveni, you are talking about only low-skilled jobs. Yes, the Nyakana jobs, the ones of Basangwa, those are low skills. But let me show you the high-skilled jobs. Chira, show them Chira Motors. Chira Motors. And the Karuma. Now all those are skilled workers. Let's see the ones of Chira. Obade ki alambaire kulambara yebase balambara ira. Now those are all high-skilled workers. Let's see what they are producing. Show us the buses. When they get out of sleep, they will show us. Let's continue. So, those are the buses now, produced by your own people from zero. Totally designed and produced by. There is crying about petrol in the world. For us, we shall go electric. If the petrol disappears, we have got electric buses here. We have no problem. So, the challenge of the NRM is that there is peace, there is infrastructure, there is services in schools and health centers, there is market of Africa, but you must be engaged in wealth creation. As an individual, as a family, or a company. And then the wealth you create will produce jobs. And in the case of Uganda, we have got the 4 sectors: commercial, agriculture, big or small, manufacturing, services like hotels, and ICT. The 4 sectors, commercial, agriculture, manufacturing, services, and ICT, for now have both low and high-skilled jobs. In 2013, only 32% of the homesteads in Uganda were in the money economy. At independence in 1963, only 9.4% were in the money economy. On account of the work of Operation Wealth Creation and PDM, the homesteads in the money economy are now 67%. The other 33% are still outside, but must also join the money economy. When all the families in Uganda join the money economy in the 4 sectors, there will be so many jobs that all our nearly 2 million refugees from the brother countries of Africa that are here will get jobs, and we will have to import other workers from the brother African countries. With more value addition for our agricultural raw materials, our mineral raw materials, our forest raw materials, plus our knowledge economy of automobiles, vaccines, pharmaceuticals, and electronics, there will be more people in manufacturing, services, and ICT than in agriculture. This is where we need to retune our educational system to concentrate on imparting skills to learners that are needed in the labor market, and scale down on random education, or be clear to the learners and parents that certain courses are just for interest and may not create jobs for the wielders of these skills. In Uganda here, we are always talking about the importance of value addition that I've just mentioned here. With the presence of so many African brothers from outside Africa, I cannot fail to point out the strategic mistake, the independence of Sudan, Khartoum, in 1955. The mistake of exporting unprocessed or semi-processed raw materials to foreign countries. This is a strategic blunder. If you export a kilogram of unprocessed gold, 84% pure, recently you have been getting US dollars 60,000. If the gold is processed to 99.9% purity, you get US dollars 168,000. Look at the difference in value. However, you do not only donate money to the outsiders per kilogram of gold, per kilogram of coffee, you also donate jobs. All those refining jobs go to the outsiders. That is not all. At 84% pure, that gold cannot be used as bullion, as currency, nor can it be used as an input in other industries, such as jewelry, electronics, aerospace, etc. That is one of the reasons Africa's economy has remained stunted 70 years after the African countries started regaining their freedom. Africa is 4 times the land area of the USA and 12 times the land area of India, with a present population of 1.5 billion people that will be 2.5 billion in the next 30 years. Yet our total GDP is only US dollars 3.6 trillion. while that of the USA is $32 trillion, China 20.65 trillion, India USD 4.18 trillion. This hemorrhage must stop. That is where here in Uganda we banned the export of unprocessed minerals and try to get people to address value addition here for all the other raw materials that make profits. In the African economies, we must ensure both vertical and horizontal integration. Africa's GDP should at least be 60 trillion US dollars, if not more. Our friends from outside of Africa should also help us to achieve this. If they see far, they will see that this is also in their own interest. If you are a clever capitalist, why would you want to do business with a poor man with a small purchasing power? I regard myself as a clever capitalist. I produce milk. I want many Ugandans and many Africans to buy my milk. However, they cannot buy my milk unless they have money in their pockets. Luckily, I am both a clever capitalist and also a Christian, as well as a patriot. And I therefore love God with all my heart, and I love my neighbor as I love myself. I'm therefore working feverishly to put money in the hands of Ugandans for them to get out of poverty, improve their purchasing power, and also improve their milk consumption per capita from the present 60 liters to 210 liters recommended by WHO for the sake of the calcium of their teeth and their bones. I also pray the same happens in the whole of Africa and the world. The phenomenon of Uganda having more jobs than local labor force is not new. The small enclave economy of the British times, the economy of the 3 C's and 3 T's, could not get enough workers locally, although it was only covering 9.4% of the homesteads. That is how our brothers from Rwanda, Burundi, Kenya, South Sudan, Tanzania came. You listen to our message and wake up, kuzukuka, given our raw materials base of Uganda, the present population of Uganda of 48 million people will not be enough to manage a developed Uganda. In small-scale agriculture, in order to support PDM with zero grazing chicken, pigs, goats, turkeys, sheep, cattle, we must solve the problem of water up to the whole household level, or up to at least the village, where one can use a wheelbarrow to bring the water to zero grazing areas. The current woman MP for Ntungamo, the Honorable Josephine Kamateneti, has developed an interesting model that uses solar-powered water pumps and wells, amaziba, or uzi, in the areas of Uganda that have got Enshuro spring. She uses 8.1 million shillings for a village. The homesteads can then use wheelbarrows to bring water to their homes. How can this model be adapted to the boreholes for the areas with no Enshuro? With fish farming, before I go to the fish farming, I wanted to show you Wagagai in Busia, the value addition to gold. If you have it, show it quickly. Now, freeze that one. Each one of those is fully refined gold in Busia. And each one is a kilo. And each one is now costing $168,000. If you sell and process gold, 84% pure, a kilo, you'll get only $60,000. So you see the wastage. Africans are really in trouble. How can you throw away your wealth like that? You are losing more than $100,000 in every kilo of gold. And then you say you will solve your problem. How would you solve the problem? With fish farming in the meager edges of the wetlands, the government will help the communities with the earth-moving equipment to make the fish ponds, the solar-powered water pump, to pump water and aerate with oxygen and protect the fish against snakes. The issue of fish fries, nyanja, and fish feeds is also being addressed. The support for all the other sectors, big commercial farmers, manufacturing, artisanship, services, ICT are contained in the government's Fourth National Development Plan, NDP4. No more excuses. These programs are not in other countries. They are here in Uganda, in every parish, every constituency, in UDB. If anybody is diverting the money, you, since 1986, are empowered to deal with him or her because of the democratic local councils, where you are the ones who elect the leaders. Join the parish savings circle and directly participate instead of okumemerera, scattering the okumansamasa, scattering the money in many other programs. Especially for agriculture, you need to protect our environment. We need our wetlands for both our rain. We replace rice growing with fish farming at the edge of the swamp, which is more profitable. Then the wetlands come back for irrigation, indigenous medicine, and rain formation. Then we come to the restoration of the natural forest, which guarantee for us the availability of the indigenous medicines, genetic materials, protecting the catchment areas and the rivers and rain formation. I thank the brother countries and sisters from Africa and friends from outside Africa that joined us. No more excuses. Everybody, wealth creation. Ate obugaga bwe buzaala emirimu.
Uganda oye! Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, Your Excellency, to stand before you today, still among the continent's most promising emerging economies. Your Excellency, at this occasion, I would like to pay special tribute to your invaluable contribution to the restoration and the consolidation of peace in Burundi. At a critical moment in our history, your leadership, wisdom, and personal commitment played a decisive role. The people of Burundi, our continental dialogue, and may the bonds of fraternity and cooperation bless Uganda and its courageous people. I thank you.
Abarundi barahari. We are now entering Chisanja, no more captured properly. Captured properly. Okusaba kwa Bishop kukolome
items which are on our program. It pleases you, Your Excellency, joining you in this momentous
ndi bulungi nyongera kubuzaako gwenna Comedy Cast TV okubeera gye twatandika nga tukutuusaako ebigenda okubeerawo era ebibaddewo mu kulayira olunaku olwaleero. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni alayidde omulundi ogw'omusanvu kinana mu mukaaga. Omukulu byabakama watuuse
byabakama nga tannaba teyalondebwa ku olwo ku lunaku olwo just lwe yayingira mu bukulembeze kwaliyo ng'ennaku z'omwezi 9 omwezi ogwokutaano ng'ennaku z'omwezi omwezi ogwokusatu omwaka ogwa 2021 ekyasanja kyakubiri ekyokusatu kyaliwo mu February owa 2023 bwe balonda oba ogwokubiri nga 23 26 then nga 12 ogwokutaano era nga leero n'alayizibwa ekisanja ekyokuna yakifuya okulonda kwaliwo nga 18 ogwokubiri mu 2011 n'alayizibwa nga 12 ogwokutaano ekyokutaano kyaliwo balonda 18 omwezi omwaka gwa 2016 mu mwezi ogwokubiri n'alayizibwa era nga 12 kwega 12 yo tekyuka yebadde date ey'okujja
okulayira kwali scientific n'okulayira
n'abagenda era okulayira tekwali mu bantu bangi erizono nnyo okutegeera ndi gundi
obukookolo awo nga bukyatambulira ddala
bwali buli very active olw'ekirwadde kya COVID-19 gwe tulimu agenda kuvugira ddala mpaka ng'ennaku z'omugumu mu January bwe tugenda tuyogera ku byabakama
mukulu byabakama olutuuse asoose kwozayoza President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni tibuhabura olw'okuwangula okulonda okwaliwo mu January ow'omwaka guno era nga yawangula n'ebitundu 7 n'obutundu 6 ku buli 100 era nga wano yali asusse ku bitundu 5 ku buli 100 ekyo nno nga kimufuulira ddala omuwanguzi watali kuwannaanya
semateeka byayogera
era byattuku alayidde leero ozukusobola aba buli omu ayanguwa sense of urgency eri buli wamu gwe ng'ogamba nti bannanga ate abantu balagawa ekisanja tekirimu kwebaka era ayongedde Uganda wamu ne gavumenti ya Uganda olw'omusimbi gwe bateekamu mu kalulu era ne yeebaza bannayuganda olw'obuteetiiririra ne bagamba nti we are saying no to instabilities tetugenda kwekalakaasa tugenda beera bakkakkamu tugende maaso n'okulonda omuntu gwe twagala era ne bamaliriza nga bakomezaawo President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni ng'omukulembeze w'eggwanga lyattuwa omujja agenze maaso kulwa electoral commission neyebaza ba stakeholders bonna naddala bannayuganda abawi b'omusolo okubanga bakola kyamaanyi okulaba nga ekiseera ky'okulonda kyatambula bulungi taluddeewo n'ayita Ssaabalamuzi asobole okubeera ng'atwala President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni maaso okubanga alayira najja era nga onawerekeddwako Chief Registrar ne batwala President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni mu mbeera ey'okulayira President n'alayira mu nduulu nno ey'amaanyi mu nduulu ey'amaanyi tulabyeko awo abantu ab'enjawulo ebiti eby'enjawulo ebikonge ebibadde ebya NRM okubadde Vice President Prime Minister n'abalala aba NRM balabiseeko nga kololo olunaku olwaleero